You know, it might help if I actually turn on my microphone. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Wake Up Web 3. Just going to be me this morning, JC. Reptar has an aversion to Tuesdays. So let me make sure I've got my chat turned on here and the volume is down so we don't get a nasty echo. And there we are. Cool. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you are rested and not freaking out about the markets that we got going on here. Morning, Mr. Gray. Good to see you. Let me pull up some stuff here. So yeah, this is the markets over the weekend went red, and yesterday was not a great day. So I guess it's all over. Muna's here. Good morning, Muna. Good to see you. Yeah, so I guess crypto's over. Everything's over. It's all going down. Everything's gonna die. Crypto's dead. Everything's going to zero. You should sell everything now and cash out, and yeah, just invest in U.S. dollars, I guess. So you can see where we are today. A few things are still green, mostly the little things. But let's remember Monero. That's an interesting story. I may pull up a little bit about that. Pingu's up a little bit today. It actually dropped a good little bit. Let's see what it did for the week here. Go to Pingu, and this is just the daily, isn't it? Yeah, so I gotta go. Let me click on the weekly here so we can see. Down 11% for the week. You can see OKB's the big bubble there for the week, and that's just because it had basically the big token burn within the last 7 days. So that's why it's still up. Mint Arrow's still up 11.5 for the week, so ICE is super happy about that. Fartcoin, I don't get it. But you can see Pump.Fund down 20%. Who cares? I only say that because it's a big red bubble there. Let's see, where's Quant's down 5, Squeeze down 4.7. We talk about this all the time. In the last crypto bull run, where Bitcoin went from all the way from 8,000, or was it 6,000, all the way up to 69,000, or 2,000 all the way up to 69,000, whatever it was. During that run up to the last cycle's all-time highs, and even after it hit all-time highs, Bitcoin had 4 instances where it dropped 30% and then continued back up. So don't panic, don't freak out. It's not over. Don't be ridiculous. And I'll make this point every time. When in doubt, I wish I could get rid of these stupid ones that no one cares about. Soros token, no one knows what that is. But some actual, that's great if you can 265x your money, but good for you if you did. I never even heard of that. I still don't know what it is. But you can see the big boys. Quant is up 70% in the last year. XRP did a 4x in the last year's time frame. XLM 336, 3x basically. Bitcoin is up almost 100% in the last year. So if you bought Bitcoin a year ago when it was in the 60s, you still doubled your money. Muna Reptar is not here this morning, so we'll give him a bunch of crap in the chat about not being here. But yeah, sorry, you just get stuck with me. It's going to be a short one just because I have a dentist appointment here in about an hour. But all that to say, folks, if you're panicking over 2 days of 5%, 3% drops, calm down. It's okay. You'll be all right. I understand if you got in crypto just now, you're new to crypto, and you're like, wait a minute, I just bought crypto. I thought it was supposed to be going up. Look, let's lay out the worst case scenario. If you bought now and you don't sell. If you bought now and you don't sell, and this is the top, it's most likely not, but let's say it is, and crypto goes back down and it runs another 4-year cycle. 4 years from now, if you haven't sold, you'll be up. That's the worst case scenario. The absolute worst case scenario is you buy at the very top and you sell at the very bottom, but that's dumb. So long as you just hold, we've mentioned this before, and I will continue to reiterate this. If you bought one Bitcoin at the tippy top of the last three bull cycles. Like no one bought any higher than you. You bought one Bitcoin at each. You bought, the last one was 69,000. The one before that I think was 21,000. The one before that was whatever it was, 2,000. If you bought one Bitcoin at the top and just held it, right now you would be up more than four times what you paid. Now, if you're looking for that 20x, you got to buy the bottoms, but it's okay even if your timing is the worst right now. Just hang on to it. You'll be okay. There's, I believe it's Warren Buffett whose strategy for amassing wealth was you have to be prepared to buy something you like and hold it forever, and just wait for it to go up. If you're like, hey, I'm putting in my this month's rent money because I want it to double for next month, yeah, good luck. We don't give financial advice, but I think that's a bad play. So let me move on to a couple other things. Like I said, I've got a dentist appointment to get to. I want to show you this right here. This guy was, as you can see, was the I guess he was the head of the crypto council, the White House Crypto Council. He was in charge of putting together the big crypto plan or whatever. He resigned last week, and everybody's like, "Well, what is going on?" Well, this is what's going on. He went to join Tether as a strategic advisor for uh, digital assets. Yeah. So he did some time, got his little government resume padded, and he's like, "Deuces, I'm gonna go make some real money." And I mean that's what a lot of these political guys do. They'll do their time in the political arena, and then they will be hired as advisors because number one, they have the contacts with the people in charge, and number two, they actually do have some expertise in the area. Yeah, Mr. Gray points out, if memory serves me correctly, this happens the last bull run. Yeah, crypto goes up and then it corrects, and it goes up and it corrects, and then it goes up and corrects, and then finally we get to the end of the bull market, and it goes down. Historically, it's been around 80% drop for Bitcoin, but whatever. But yeah, I just want to point this out. It caught my eye this morning. This guy who was the head of the White House Crypto Council, all of a sudden, right after last week's crypto, whatever it was, where they dropped all the information about what strategic reserves and whatever the executive council created. Who cares? But he was like, right after they dropped that paperwork or report, he resigns. And we're like, what's going on? Oh, this is what's going on. Yeah, he's gonna go make money. Good for him. Good job. But yeah, USDT, which is interesting. Because there was some worry that USDT was not going to be ISO 20022 compliant and get kicked out of stuff. Yeah, Mr. Gray, in my opinion, we are still ahead of institutional buyers. Part of that is because the big boy institutions are still sliding little bits of money in at a time and still waiting on the Clarity Act, which is like we've got the stablecoin bill passed, the Genius Act passed. Sorry, not the stablecoin bill. The Genius Act passed, which did provide some clarity on stablecoins. The Clarity Act, which it's like provides clarity. The Stablecoin Act provides clarity, and the Clarity Act provides clarity. Anyway, that is in the Senate. It did pass the House. It's sitting in the Senate. I don't think the Senate is currently in session. They'll be back, I believe, the end of August. So the big boys, the big institutions, while they are, like we talked about last time, they're telling you that crypto is a pet rock or Bitcoin is a pet rock while they fill up their coffers. I still think they are waiting for that complete legal clarity, just because it's for them, it's not worth the risk of their assets being seized or them getting wrong-footed with the law and having to pay extra. They can afford to wait until clarity hits there. So yes, I do think we're still ahead of them, but we are also fronting a lot more risk. Speaking of being ahead of them, I want to talk about this right here. This is another, I think the next 4 years will be a little more productive than the last 4. I hope so. I really do hope so. I was hoping the first 6 months of this president's term would be a lot more productive, and it's been slow as usual, but better than before. Speaking of the big boys, yesterday the SEC pushed back a decision. They were supposed to be making a decision on some ETFs, particularly not just XRP, but this is the first one that popped up on my feed. But the SEC did push back a lot of decisions because regulations and the situation has been evolving, and so we want to take more time. And I'm like, okay, fine. What you're really doing is pushing stuff back so more big boys and more big money can get themselves positioned while prices are still low. So I wonder, part of me wonders, we talked about, the big drop. I wonder if this last couple of days of this has been due to stuff like this. The SEC, the slowing down, the government and the regulators and the big boys kind of talking to each other and trying to get stuff positioned so that they can make the best position possible. I don't know, just speculation, but I wouldn't put it past them. And then I want to hit one other thing real quick, and I have no idea if this is actually going to happen because things get said and talked about and pushed back. This is not the only place I've heard this, but if it really is institutional real estate being put on the ledger, the XRP ledger, I mean they keep. So that's 2 days from now, August the 21st. We can check, and if they keep pushing back, and you're like, this is nonsense, but the reason I pulled this up is because I did want to talk about real estate and real world assets and even stocks and bonds being tokenized and put on the blockchain, either on the XRP ledger, Hedera Hashgraph. Avalanche just picked up a deal with Japanese stablecoin is going to be launched on Avalanche. So as these actual real world assets get tokenized, and that means like a non-fungible token. Yeah, Mr. Gray, I have heard that as well. Algo is doing something with real estate. I think some of this, and take this particular post with a grain of salt, everyone, no matter what their favorite token is, likes to say, well, if all of this, if all $228 trillion of institutional real estate goes on the ledger, then XRP will be worth $400 million per token. Like, okay, yeah. If an asteroid filled with gold falls into my backyard, I mean, great. I do think it will be multiple chains that will be handling a lot of stuff, which is another reason I think Chainlink might do pretty well because it's aiming to be the Oracle and infrastructure that links all the different chains. So we'll see how that turns out. But I do want to point out that this right here being just to talk about the idea of tokenizing real estate, like everyone knows what real estate is: lands, houses, apartments, property. That is you can see the institutional real estate market is $228 trillion. So if that value becomes represented on the blockchain, then it becomes kind of like, so a bar of gold used to represent X amount of dollars, right? And as more dollars were created, there was not more gold created, there was more dollars created. So each bar of gold represented more dollars. Take that concept to, as more and more assets become on the blockchain, so long as we're talking about finite blockchains and finite tokens, then each token represents an increasing value. That's the way I think we're going, and which is why I think real-world assets, including real estate and stocks and everything being tokenized, does mean that token prices go up. Mr. Gray says, seems like everyone is jumping to do as many services as they can for the visibility. This will all work out in the coming years, and who will be taking the lion's share of the work? Yeah, I think it's exactly like we've talked about before, the great .com boom. Everyone sees that, oh, I just have to talk about internet stuff. Well, now I just have to talk about my business doing crypto stuff. Whether or not a project or a token has the actual real intention of doing some type of real world asset thing, all they have to do is publicize that they are looking to run real world assets and looking, if I were going to write one, I'd say, we're looking to build upon the great models of the early chains, and we're looking to improve upon their speed and efficiency and security in order to secure your real world assets on chain. And, whatever blah, blah, blah corporate speak sounds good. And just to hype up people to buy my token because I'm going to be doing this better. And say some kind of corporate sounding words like synergy and blah, blah. Everybody's watched The Office. Um, so, yeah, you throw in some corporate sounding words that sound like you know what you're doing, and you say blockchain, and you say real world assets. And I think you're absolutely right, Mr. Gray. As the space matures, the winners will actually show up, and we will have, call it a blockchain bust. If we had a .com bust, I think we're going to have a blockchain bust as well. But then I want to, just for comparison's sake, this is the S&P 500 over the last 5 days. It's down a little. So, I mean, understand that, yes, crypto is down for the last few days. So is the Standard & Poor's 500. And, there's crazy stuff in the world going on. So there's some uncertainty with, Europe and Ukraine and Russia and what's going on with China. And, there is still uncertainty in the world. So in that, when things are not certain, people are more risk averse. When there's less money flowing into the space, people are more risk averse. They take less risk. So just understand that if you've got time to just Warren Buffett this thing and just hold it, you'll be fine. If you are looking to do the leverage thing and, putting more money than you can afford to go to zero for a short term, just be careful. And that, I want to leave you on something that just had me crying last night. This is not mine. I do not own this. I will show you where this came from. This website is Chico American. That's the producer of these things. He's on TikTok. Holy crap. I just want to show a couple of these because I cried myself to sleep laughing last night. If you haven't seen these, I have no idea what this is from other than just AI generated.
You never told us we'd be fighting humans. More like angry demons with skin. Everything was quiet. Then we heard one whisper, peekaboo, before jumping out of a bush and mowing down 17 of our guys. They wrote, send more in the blood of our fallen on our own dropship. One screamed, this is Sparta, and kicked our general off a cliff.
Anyway, there's 5 minutes of that. It's hilarious. But I just wanted to show that to you. It makes me laugh. I feel like these aliens invaded Florida. So let me leave you with one bit of information. I got to type it in real quick because I didn't have it pulled up. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index is currently, I think it was 59, but I'm going to look it back up to be 100% sure. 53. So the Crypto Fear and Greed Index is neutral. 53 is neutral. Yeah, Mr. Gray, those things, there's like 50 of them, and they're freaking hysterical. And all I think is they just invaded Florida. So there was one about there was a fry cook killed 3 squads with a spatula wearing a Waffle House apron. I was like, yeah, you don't mess with Waffle House. So yeah, Fear and Greed Index 53. We're neutral. Even with this latest pullback, nobody's afraid. We're just like, we'll wait and see. Guys, have a great Tuesday. Reptar will be back in the morning so that you don't have to just listen to me. Although I did put on not a t-shirt because I have to go have people sticking their stuff in my mouth. So anyway, I'm going to go to the dentist, and you guys have a great Tuesday. Hope you don't get afraid. Yeah, like Mr. Gray says, get greedy when everyone's fearful. Be fearful when everyone's greedy. So once we get up in the 80s and 90s on the Fear and Greed Index, maybe take a little profit. He said, peekaboo, and they killed 16 of us. So, peekaboo, have a good day.